Lucha-masks.com, in partnership with Mask Republic, give you personal protective masks to keep you lucha strong in the fight versus COVID-19. With world-class luchadors Blue Demon Jr., the Lucha Brothers, LA Park, Ultimo Dragon, Cain Velasquez, Conan, and so much more. Head to lucha-masks.com and you too can become a masked warrior. Lucha-masks.com, powered by Pro Wrestling Revolution.
You are listening to the Lucha Central Podcast Network. And now, luchacentral.com presents Straight Out of the Bodega with King Fat Boy Papo Esco.
From the wrestling world to the podcast world, it's Straight Out of the Bodega with your host,
the King Fat Boy Papo Esco.
You have arrived. Pulled up. It's Thursday and welcome to another edition of Straight Out of the Bodega. I am your master of ceremonies, the bully from the bodega, the lucha thug, the one-man lucha gang, El Rey Gordo himself, the King Fat Boy Papo Esco, and we finna take you on this ride. A ride through the blocks, back alleys, and street corners of the bodega. We're gonna give you everything you need that's pro wrestling and entertainment. I'm ready. I know you're ready. So take a seat, pour up your favorite drink, and let's ride. It's Thursday, September 3rd, 2020, and thank you for pulling up to another edition of Straight Out of the Bodega. I am your master of ceremonies, as always, the King Fat Boy Papo Esco, and from last Thursday to this Thursday, I hope you guys are having a great week, man. I hope you're living your best life. Me, I'm doing okay, trying to keep myself safe. You know, we got this pandemic still going on, got to keep the virus out my system. We still got these Northern California fires blazing, starting to simmer down, but the air quality's still messed up, trying to keep that out my lungs. And how am I doing it? I'm wearing my lucha-mask.com face cover. I got like 30 of them things, man, so I'm able to keep, all 30 of them in rotation, I never wear the same one in a month. That's pretty cool in my estimation. I gotta stay fashionable, right? I gotta make sure that, if I'm gonna wear these masks, I gotta wear it in style. So head over to lucha-mask.com, check the website out. They got bundles, they got some sales going on, they got other stuff on there. You might want to check them out and get some. Get yours, man. Try and stay safe like I'm staying safe. Not too much has been going on this week, so I don't really have a lot to talk about in this first segment before we go in the interview. So I'm just going to get right into it, man. This week on the podcast, we got a Southern California luchador. He's worked for Pro Wrestling Revolution, my home promotion. He's worked out in Southern California, all over the independent circuit there. He's also worked in CMLL in Mexico and various other places in Mexico. I'm talking about my guy, luchador Puma Negro. He's going to be on the podcast. He's going to pull up for a sit down. It's going to be a good one. I hope you enjoy it. All right. Well, we're going to get right into it, man. There's nothing more to say. All there is just interview. So we're going to do it. But before we get into it, we're going to go to the golden voice. We're going to go to the first lady of the Lucha Central Podcast Network. I'm talking about Denise Salcedo and Lucha Central.
Hey everyone, it's Denise Salcedo here in Lucha Central with a reminder of where and when to catch all of the great network content this week. Get the full lineup and listen to all of our shows in the podcast network section of luchacentral.com. Sundays on the Lucha Central Facebook page, world-traveled shooter of the camera kind, Jerry Villagrana goes mano a mano with a fellow photographer to throw down about some of their favorite photos they have taken at Lucha Libre events. Monday, Business of the Business returns as Mask Republic President Kevin Kleinrock takes you inside how your favorite Lucha Libre merchandise gets made. On Tuesdays, Mass Mats and Mayhem takes you inside the world of Lucha Underground as they take you weekly through the series with the benefit of hindsight and the benefit of special guests from the groundbreaking series. Check out the premiere video stream every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on the Lucha Central YouTube channel and at luchacentral.com. Then listen to it on your favorite podcast platform every Wednesday. Tuesday nights live, it's Wrestle Boss, where Favi Chulo talks MMA and pro wrestling with special guests and listener call-ins. Visit WrestleBossLive.com Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific to listen live or call in with questions or download the show on podcast platforms on Wednesdays. Wednesday nights live on Facebook, it's Spanish show La Mesa de los Márgaros, giving you both the news and the chisme from around the lucha world. Special guests and a whole lot of fun make it one of the most talked about shows in Mexico. Thursdays, it's straight out of the bodega with Papo Esco and PWR promoter Gabriel Ramirez, as they have guests from throughout the wrestling world pull up to give an inside look into their careers. From indie standouts to television superstars, each week brings a new name and perspective. On Friday, it's your double dose of Lucha Central Weekly podcast, one in English y el otro en español. Lucha Central Weekly is where you'll find all the top stories of the week, both inside and out of the ring from Mexico and anywhere luchadores are in action across the globe. Be sure to subscribe and follow all your favorite Lucha Central Network series on your favorite podcast platforms, either by their own series name or subscribe to the Lucha Central Podcast Network show pages to get all of the shows in one easy feed. And please consider giving a rating to help more fans find the shows that you love. For now, this is Denise Salcedo signing off from Lucha Central Central. Have a great week.
And it's interview time. Welcome back to Straight Out of the Bodega. I am your master of ceremonies, the King Fat Boy Papa Wesco. And this week we got a very great interview. But before we introduce him, I want to bring on my guy, my brother, owner and operator of Pro Wrestling Revolution, owner and operator of Pro Wrestling Revolution Training Academy, owner and operator of www.lucha-mask.com, and a dude, just a solid dude that's always had my back, Mr. Gabriel Ramirez. How you doing, sir?
What's up, my brother? It feels like it's been ages since we've done one of these, man. I've missed you.
You know, one episode leads into the next, and it's just starting to blur now. You know,
I heard. Not gonna. You know, I ain't the one to gossip, but I heard you did an episode without me
last week.
Just gonna put that out there, bro. Like, I was like, hey, man, I didn't get no call today. No podcast. And then I see, Danny. I'm like, where am I at?
Well, I don't know if you remember the conversation, but you were telling me that you had a lot of stuff going on that week. I mean, all the lucha-mask.com stuff. You was blazing the trail with the lucha mask.
I got to be honest, though, bro. If you would have called me to do it like we always do, you would have got me out of having to do all the packaging for these masks. So you gave me an excuse.
It would have gave you a break. I apologize. I
mean, you're a union guy. You know how that shit works, bro.
I know exactly how that works,
man. So, but I'm so glad that you were able to knock one out. You know, I apologize for not being able to take part in that, but thank you very much. But I'm glad to be back, and we have a guest that's very, very close to us, you know, so I'm excited to get deeper into the world of this gentleman. He's been working for us for a few years now, right? So I'm excited. How about you?
I'm excited too. He's a really solid dude. I had a chance to meet him when you brought him into Pro Wrestling Revolution, and he's just a real good guy, and I'm very happy to have SoCal Luchador. He's been all over the place, including Mexico and Pro Wrestling Revolution. We're talking about Puma Negro. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being.
No, that's not me, bro. That's Ray Leon in the background booing.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Oh my gosh! Shout out to Ray Leon. We'll get into that later.
Right.
How you doing, man? How are you doing through all the pandemic stuff and everything?
I'm doing all right. Just trying to be busy with my boy, just coaching. I have my son. He's a sophomore. That we've just been trying to get him ready for the season, if we do have a season, and just trying to be positive, man. It's with the times there now.
Yeah, definitely got to stay positive, man. That's funny you say, trying to, get your son prepared. that's one of the things I wanted to start. And we're just going to get right into it. I wanted to start off not with actual lucha and pro wrestling and things like that. I wanted to get started with your amateur wrestling background, because you are very, very involved in amateur wrestling, and you're actually a trainer, and one of a premier one at that. So I want to talk about, how you got started in amateur wrestling, and really I want to talk about where that's taken you up to now. So go ahead and get started with that.
Well, I started competing in high school. I never wrestled before until I got to high school. Actually, I never played any organized sports until I got to high school. A friend of mine that I met at this park, we joined, I think it was judo. I can't really remember. And that guy that got me to go to do judo, he's the one that actually introduced me to wrestling, because his cousins used to wrestle,
Wait. You met him at a park?
Well, yeah, those, whatchamacallit?
I don't know, man. What kind of park were you at? Like
a rec center, like a rec center.
I was like, he's at a park.
No,
like, what were you looking for?
No, man. Not a rec center.
No, very cool. They're very cool. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And yeah, I mean, that's how I got started. He introduced me to wrestling, and from there, it kind of I stuck with it,
So how? I mean, I don't know. So how good were you in high school? I mean, obviously you're training now, so you had to be, somewhat decent, amateur wrestler. How involved were you during that time? Did you win any championships? Did you not?
I was all right, man. I was a four-sport athlete, so I didn't really kind of
Oh wow.
Yes. In high school, so I
What
never
sports?
really what?
What sports?
So my freshman year, well, that's in all 4 years, but I was doing football and I was doing cross country at the same time.
Okay. What did you do in football? What would you play?
I was playing quarterback.
You're too short. No manches.
Well, that was from my freshman year to my junior year, and then my senior year I was a cornerback.
Okay.
So.
And what about cross country?
So I was doing cross country. So we would have our matches, our football games on Friday, and then our running, the cross country duels were on Thursdays. So,
Okay.
that's how I would do it.
So you were nonstop training, right? I mean, you were from cross country to football. I mean, I'm pretty sure one helped the other, right?
Oh yes, of course. I mean, see, here's the thing. I never went to any practice. The only practice I went for cross country was in the summer. And after that, I just stuck with football. And then since my football coach used to run us a lot, I would use that as a training. So I would just show up to the duels or whatever they were called, races,
Oh,
so
man.
I think if I would have put more time, I mean, I was, I'm not the type of guy that kind of talks about himself how good he was, but I think if I would have put a lot more effort in just in one or two sports, I think I would have been good. Like
I hear you.
I was good, but
Not that good.
Now you mentioned judo.
Oh wow.
How long did you train in judo, and how did that help with you learning and excelling at the amateur wrestling?
No, I didn't do much. It was just like a little, when you kind of sign up for like maybe a month. We only did it for a month and then we stopped. I never went back to judo.
Papo,
So,
he did judo at the park.
Yeah, at the
we
park,
just did
there you
like
go.
when you show up in there, and they roll a mat, and that was it. But then, like I said, I was doing cross country and football, and then after football, then my wrestling season would start.
Oh wow, dude! So you were just nonstop, like evolved, right? Like, did you have a lot of support at home?
No, not at all. That's why I was doing that.
Oh shit!
Just trying to keep yourself out of trouble, huh?
Right? Yeah, my mom was.
I know that.
That was because
mom
your
was
parents.
an alcoholic.
Oh my god,
So,
brother!
That kept me, that kept me busy. So I didn't want to come home. So I would just come home late and just sleep. And
Oh my god, bro! Thank you for sharing that. That's very personal, bro. I because a lot of being Latino, I know to this day up until a couple of years ago, I didn't have much support from my parents, lucha wise. I mean, I'd be like, Dad, look, I'm on the news. Mom,
yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
them,
It's like,
yeah.
So I was like, I never thought, I assume, being Latino parents, they're always working or not at home much because they provide and stuff. But no, I mean that's harsh. That's harsh. And did that affect you much with, obviously involvement in high school, but how did that affect you doing other things that maybe led to lucha?
It was just the support or the confidence, just having shirt about, just be sure about yourself. I was very lack of confidence, I wasn't too sure about myself,
That's harsh.
Okay, yeah.
That's rough.
So, I think that's the only reason why I was kind of like, I didn't believe I was good in most of the stuff that I did in high school. I don't know, maybe, I don't know.
No. I mean, that's crazy, Papo. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if I'd have the balls to share that.
So,
well, no, I know. For me, I know. For me, I know I didn't grow up with a dad, and
that's the same thing here.
I know that there's a lot of even in Latino families, and I can't speak for all Latino families, but I know in mine, personally, there's a history of alcoholism. Latinos like to drink, and a lot of times, we take it too far. I've definitely had my bouts. Now I'm sharing. I definitely had my bouts with alcohol.
Welcome to straight out of the bodega on the couch. And today,
it's just
you guys are killing me here, man. I'm depressed.
No,
I'm depressed, man.
So let's talk about the training of your son. You coach right now, right? You coach amateur wrestling. Puma, are you there?
I think he took off because you made him feel bad.
Did I?
Well, before we, I am going to touch on it really quick before he finds his connection again. Every time you do book these SoCal guys from Lucha, you know what happens, right? Either he's driving to the liquor store to pay his cell phone bill, or his
here we go.
Dude, I feel like we're talking to little Cholo all over again. But one thing about Puma Negro, while he gets back, that we can talk about, I know when I was in Mexico City at CMLL, I ran into Shocker. And Shocker, look, we lost him altogether. Maybe he'll call back in. But I was talking to Shocker backstage at CMLL, and he says, "Hey, man," he goes, I heard you're booking Puma Negro on your shows. I was like, well, how the hell you know who Puma Negro is, right? I was like, what the hell? Yeah. And he goes, yeah, bro. He goes, he's an absolute genius, amateur. And I was like, really? So I never knew how intense his amateur background was, you know what I mean? So, and then I started asking him, and then obviously I started saying, the training he does with his son and how intense he is. So I think he's underselling how good he is amateur wise, but I know we got Puma Negro back. I know Shocker speaks really highly of Puma Negro as far as amateur. So that to me, because when I booked Puma Negro, I booked one because I wanted some fresh talent, from the area, and I wanted to give some people opportunities. And he was very humble, very, very cool about everything. He actually owned a car, which is, nearly impossible in SoCal, because they all. I swear to God, Papo, everyone in SoCal drives with Dinamita, and if they're not in Rico's car, they can't find a way, to get there. You know what I mean? But here's car now, right?
Yep, we got Puma back. What's going on, man?
Hey,
back?
No problem. Proof he has a car, right? See, I wasn't lying.
Hey, you know what? We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna move on from that, and we're gonna get right into when you started in lucha. When did you start your journey in the world of lucha libre?
I started about 7 years ago.
Okay.
I started 7 years ago. I went to a show, and then it was a Martin Marin show.
I gather. Gabe knows who Martin is.
That's little Cholo's dad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we've been through that. We've been through that. So 7 years ago, man. You trained under him,
No,
under
no, no,
Martin.
no. So this is what happened. So I went to the show. Asked them, hey, how can I get involved with this? Like, hey, this is the days we practice. Da da da. So I practiced with them with a couple months, and then something happened where they were training that they had to leave. They went to another place. They had to stop there too. So, I wasn't gonna stop. So I went to one of the guys that used to make my mask. Actually, they did my first mask. My second mask here in LA. And I asked him, hey, do you know a place where where they train? He goes, yeah, but they're like hardcore, so you better be ready. I'm like, okay. So,
He gave you a challenge off the bat, right?
yes, So I went in, and then I think it was with Shamu and Dr. Maldat where I went. That's how I started,
Okay.
And then from there I was training a little bit with Superboy, and then my time didn't kind of work out, so I ended up staying started training with Durango Kid, and that's how it all kind of started.
How long did you train with Superboy?
Oh, it was just like maybe come on, 2 months. It wasn't a lot,
Because I think he's one of the most underrated luchadors. I think in lucha, I mean, at least speaking for California wise, that guy did stuff that that people
you don't see
even.
big guys do.
Yeah, and he was in Michinoku. He was in Japan when Japan was hard to get to. You know what I mean? So Superboy is very, very underappreciated in this area. So anyone out there who always questions lucha, or I know Super Porky gets a lot of pop for what he did, being heavy, or Valiente. Mm-hmm. But if you go look up Superboy, guys, that guy, for his size, he was doing some incredible stuff, and he needs a lot more credit in the lucha world.
Oh yeah, he was legit. He actually is the one that kind of teach me he taught me how to sell a little bit more, or how that things kind of work, So I learned from a lot of people, I'm not one of those. I'm open to learn,
Right.
So yes, he was one of the guys that did help a lot,
Getting a lot of these, you Southern California guys on the podcast, you get into their training, and man, you guys, like, there's really no home.
Exactly.
Like, a lot of you guys are training here and there and here, and I mean, you get training and you get trained, so
no questions there. Yeah,
no questions there. But it's just like, man, it's because I went to Revolution and the training academy, and it's home, right? And it's still home.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate. I don't know. I guess I'm fortunate, right? I'm fortunate.
Well, but no, Papa. But seriously though, and we've had this talk before. Like in Southern California, for a long time. There wasn't many homes. I mean, you had UPW that was a mainstay, and then you had Martin Marin who had his stuff going on, and then that kind of died off. It was a lot of people, kind of like right now, like everyone we talked to from the Southern California area, they would train here and there. Up until recently, before they closed down, Santino Brothers was definitely becoming a location.
That was a big one, yeah.
Yeah, that was a place where people were started calling home. And then unfortunately, because this pandemic, they shut down. Hopefully they can come back, because they did produce some great talent. And they definitely, when you have a home and a well-run, established stuff like we do here and also Santino down there, you do end up, bringing up good talent. So, but if it wasn't for them, for example, like Papa, you found us at a show, but we were well established already. Puma Negro had to go ask and go, hey, where do I find a training school? So that's kind of crazy, because we do have opposite ends. We're only like 8-9 hours apart, but the world is completely different.
Yeah,
that's true. So Puma, let's talk about your first match. When did you get started? Like, was it for me, I mean, it was inside of what, Gabe? 6 months, I think it was. Inside of 6 months that I made my debut.
Yeah, and that
how long?
That goes against the grain too, because I don't like doing that. But you're one of the very few breeds that does that stuff, you know, because
So I appreciate that.
and also I was
appreciate
afraid
that.
of you, but you know, besides that,
Here we go.
He's a big scary guy. So,
yes, he is. Yes, he
How
is.
long? How long before you got the opportunity to get in the ring and actually have a match?
It took me about 7, 8 months, you know. But I think he wanted to he wanted to for me to do it a little earlier. Like, no, I'm not ready yet.
Who's that? Who's he?
Martin Marin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he was training you after Superboy?
No. Superboy was after Marin. So Marin was, you know, first, and then that's when I started kind of bouncing, you know, from like
Place to place.
yes,
Okay.
but it was the same. So
Same venue, different coaches.
yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Exactly. Different time. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who was your first match against?
It was against some kid that used to wrestle. Well, they would wrestle, but it was he was a beginner guy too. But he had a good some good enough time with Martin. It was with him and Simon Ram and against Octagoncito and me. I was actually
Wait. So it was you and Octagoncito versus who? Cyber Ram and who's the other kids?
another guy that used to train with him, with Martin.
What was
he
his
was
name?
young. I can't remember, man.
Oh man, that's not.
That's
how good he was. You don't remember his
No,
name?
the kid stopped wrestling, you know. So I don't even.
Oh man.
So yeah.
So how'd that work? That's a rough match to debut when you got a meanie. Was the other guy small? Is that why they had a meanie next to you, or how'd that work?
Yeah, so the meanie was my partner. So
Yeah.
I was actually I was a technical. I started as a technical, you know.
Oh no, you're
Yeah.
far from a technical.
So but yeah, that was my first match, and then I think the next day or the following week, I can't remember. It's been a while. We wrestled again, but it was back where they were practicing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I guess Octagoncito told the other guy, "Hey, make sure you tell this guy to do this." He was giving like a pointer. I'm like, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool," you know.
Yeah.
Because
Now,
now,
were you Puma Negro then?
oh yes, I was.
Or
No, I was actually. I started with like being black.
Black Puma.
Black Puma, and then I think the fans are the ones who started calling me Puma Negro. You know, like okay, fuck it, so I just changed.
Let's go with it, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So one of the things I like about you, your look is dude, your mask. Like your mask is super dope. It has this whole like Black Panther type of, you know, like the whole face. It's almost like
Well, I thought for sure you were going to say it was his hair.
No. Talk to me about how you came up with the design for your masks, man. I mean, your masks are unique to me in terms of like the full, you know, the full like look.
Mm-hmm. Well, who was it? Well, actually, it was back when I first got when I got the chance to wrestle in Guadalajara, you know, CMLL there.
Okay, so now before we even get to Guadalajara, how did you go from you know, you debuted and so on with these meanie and so on? How did you progress to get to Guadalajara? I mean, that's a big jump. Let's what happened in between?
Well, just you know, Shocker. I'm not gonna lie. Then Shocker just opened up the door. You know, he's the one that, you know, made a phone call and say, "Hey, can you give this guy a chance to go train with you guys and see, you know, what he has, you know?"
But like, how did Shocker? I mean, like, how did you come across Shocker? Because when your phone call dropped, I actually was telling Papo that when I ran into Shocker at CMLL, he was putting you over, like, you know, what a great guy in the ring you were and so on. So before we go into CMLL, before we get to that point, like, what progression, you know, happened before we got to that point? Like, you know, promotions. I mean, because how do bookings work for you? Because lucha is not very easy to get booked on because there's not many lucha promotions to start with. So have you mostly maintained in Southern California, or did you venture out before you came to Revolution? How did that work out for you?
No. I was doing some shows. I think I was kind of starting, maybe 2 years within, like, when I was wrestling, and I was doing some shows for what's that guy? Profeta.
Okay, so you were doing stuff for FML.
Yes, sir. And then and that's when they brought him. They were bringing him in, and we started talking, and then he somehow the subject came about, like, hey, I used to wrestle in high school. I went to John Glenn High School. Like, oh, really? And I go, do you know, I mentioned his coach's name. Like, oh, yeah, I know Coach Avaya and this and that. And that's how it kind of started.
Oh, right on.
Yes. It was more like the amateur the amateur wrestling background. They kind of got to us, like, come closer,
And so while you were working for Profeta and you met Shocker, where else did you work? Because when I booked you, you were already doing stuff for CMLL in Guadalajara, and I couldn't believe that someone who was working in CMLL in Guadalajara was not getting booked anywhere else. And I remember I even asked him, I said, bro, is that really you, or how is it that you can work at CMLL and you don't have a booking outside of LA? And I couldn't believe it, and that happens a lot with lucha. That happens a lot in wrestling now, where if you're not an internet darling or you're not a favorite of somebody, you won't get that chance.
Hey, that's all I got to say. I was about to tell you right now. You just said it. There's nothing else I got to tell you, boss, but you just said it right there.
Yeah, because I was looking for talent, and he goes, well, because I go, hey, dude, can I see some of your stuff? And he sent me pictures of him in CMLL, and I was like, look at this guy. Papa, you know who I am. I was like, who? This guy sending me pictures. That's not him. It's impossible. How can this guy work in Coliseo? CMLL works some really good talent, and he's doing some cool stuff. And then he's wrestling, like little small things, which is nothing wrong with that, but that's all he's doing. And so then I started talking to him on the phone, and I asked you to make some phone calls, and they go, yeah, that's him. It's legit. I was like, what? And so then I brought him on board. All of this guy is talented. But that totally sucks because, for example, I got Papo here, who older guy came in and he blossomed fast. And I tell people all the time, man, when you guys do TV and stuff and NWA, I go, Papo's the guy you guys need. He fits that mold. And for you, for lucha, you fit that mold as well. How does that feel that you actually traveled to CMLL and then you come home and you get no love?
A little disappointed, but you can't really have any grudge against people because you start.
Yeah, you can. You can. You have to. That's what motivates you.
But it does. But I mean, you know what? You can't really do anything. I mean, some of those promoters already have their own guys. Some of them. I don't want to bash on people.
Oh, come on, bash them. That's what we do here. Bash.
But you know what I'm saying? It's just it does. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, and so outside of the SoCal area, did you work anywhere else besides CMLL?
Well, I went to TJ. I worked for El Cholo. Before Crush came in and made it big,
Yeah.
He was giving some chances, but
that's very cool.
And then in San Diego, a few shows in San Diego with this other guy. They was trying some stuff.
So then, when you came to Revolution, that was besides CML, obviously, that was your first promotion that you felt like you got a shot at.
Oh yeah.
That is crazy, man. Right? I mean, when you came in, I was watching you work, man, and dude, you wrestle like you have gotten so many reps. Like you wrestle like you've wrestled thousands of matches, and for you to say that you haven't really had a lot of matches out in your area before you came to Pro Wrestling Revolution, shit, man, I would have been.
You would never, you would have never believed that, right? You would never believe that this guy. It's insane,
bro. I'm wondering what it would have been like if you would have wrestled like countless times in your area before you even came to Pro Wrestling Revolution.
Yeah.
So so let's jump right into that then. Gabe. You mentioned, you saw him and you were just like, who is this guy? You decided you wanted to bring him over. How did that feel, Puma? And what were your intentions coming here to NorCal to actually work, the biggest lucha company in our area?
And before you answer that, I would love to know what kind of feedback you got, because I would love to know what lucha people down there think of us up here. I would love to know.
Oh.
Well, I mean, for me, I was just very fortunate and very blessed that I got a chance to to work for a big company like you guys, it's like anything. You get a chance, and you better not mess it up. You know what I'm saying? Or else you won't come back.
Yeah.
Whether the way you perform or just the way you come about to the promoter or
attaboy, absolutely,
or the workers, because they're the ones that are gonna,
absolutely,
they're the ones that are gonna bring you back, or say no, fuck this guy, or they're gonna stiff you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to earn their trust, man. That's
all training, though, right? I mean, we like one of the things that I went through when I was going through training at Pro Wrestling Revolution Training Academy. I mean, as a actual student before I graduated, was an etiquette class. You definitely have to have a certain level of respect for promoters and other talent. We got to work with each other. We're a team.
Right.
I mean, obviously there's a level of selfishness when it comes to your own persona and such, but I mean, we're all a team, whether it's one company to the other. So,
if
I go ahead.
If it's one thing that I actually did like about you guys is that after the show I think it was the first one, that some of the guys were actually saying, "Hey, good job." Where a lot of times you're with the lucha guys, and it's just so much
cutthroat.
Yes, they don't want to tell you nothing. I mean, you don't want to be praised. No, none of that. But it's like saying, "Hey,
good job,
pretty good."
Yeah,
that's a good thing with when you mix like the white wrestlers. Sometimes they're really good about praising you. Hey, man, good job, good match, and this. The Mexican ones, man, they don't. Excuse me, they don't. They're just too much envy. You know what I'm saying? And it's never gonna stop. But that's you gotta just keep going forward.
I'm not gonna say no names because I'll bring it up in the later time when that person ever comes on this podcast. But I remember I booked Puma Negro and another guy come with from that area he's in. And Puma Negro was like on time, earlier than on time, on point, And the guy that came in, man, freaking guy brought his whole family with him to the show. And I'm like, what? And they're in the locker room. And I was like, oh, my God. It's like etiquette. And, and the thing, guys, that, Puma Negro, you can vouch for, and Papa, you learned as we go, is lucha etiquette is much different than our end. Like, we don't allow, people that don't belong in the locker room, we don't I don't allow kids. I really don't. I don't even like my daughter being back there. She runs merchandise. I don't even like my wife being back there. Like when it's showtime, everyone has a job to do, and the last thing I want to do is have like your kid going, "Hey, Dad, can you fix my my phone?" And then like, "Hey, where's this guy at?" And, you know what I mean? So I definitely get it. So the etiquette that Papa was talking about, that's something that we teach at the academy. But the etiquette you're talking about, is that something that you were taught, or that's just common sense as a person?
Common sense too, and I mean, for me being a coach too, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I teach my guys to be humble at all times, and to acknowledge people like the parents or whoever comes, your teachers. You gotta be grateful. You gotta,
Right on, bro. Right on. I love that.
Yeah. So do you still train, right? With lucha, or is it just
I just actually started again because I had an injury about a year and 3 months ago.
How'd that happen?
I just did like a little. I went over the ring, and I thought I sprained my ankle, which I did, and then I ended up breaking my fibula.
Whoa! When did this happen?
In last June, I actually had a show in CML in Guadalajara and had to cancel it, man, the following week. So.
Oh my gosh!
So I've been off for a while,
Have you been maintaining, your body since then? Working?
Oh yes,
out
I didn't let go. I've been. I mean, it doesn't really, but I've been lifting, especially with my son. So we had to lift,
So now we talked about, how the influence or non-influence of your family affected you, your sports and what have you. How has that affected how you work with your son with his high school sports?
I'm just involved, Now I don't put too much pressure because I know how it is. That's why he never wrestled before high school. So I'm there, man. I just want to be as much as I can.
Do now when you train your son, Do you help some of his other, kids that, are on the team? Are you the coach of the team or just?
Oh yeah, no, I'm the head coach. Yeah, I'm the head coach.
Okay, perfect. So,
Yeah.
being the head coach of a wrestling team, what's the reaction you get when they find out, or if they know you're a luchador? Because how do they go? Oh, coach, that shit's fake. You know what I mean? This is real, coach. How do you handle that?
The kids, the only ones that know are like the older kids, and the ones that just keep it hush. I'm not like, oh, hey, look at me, I'm a big no. Not we keep it like a secret,
Papa, can you imagine the kid going in in the amateur position and then he slaps his leg? Like how?
Yeah, hey man, hey, I'll tell you what, kudos to you and the kids around you for keeping that secret, because my son could not wait to tell his entire football team that I was the king fat boy Papa Wesco. Before you know it, links are getting sent, or YouTube links and everything. Everybody wants.
I remember Papa debuted early, but that didn't quite count. But I remember he did a show for me as a student at of all places, Avaya Stadium for the Sound of the Earthquakes, and then Papa says, "Oh man," I go, "What?" He goes, "Bro," he's like, "one of the guys here is from my job.
Oh, yes,
they didn't know I was a wrestler."
Yep. So before you know it, bro, hey Puma, before you know it, bro, like one of my coworkers, he was there. He was like, "Is that?" I'm not going to say my real name, but he was like, "Is that?" And he was like, "Man," he took a picture, sent it out to everybody.
At
Before
work.
you know it, I'm getting all the shit, But I mean, it ended up being okay, man.
Yeah.
So, where are you training now? You said you just got back into training after an injury, man. Where are you training now?
I went back to Durango.
Okay.
Durango?
Yeah, Durango kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Durango.
let me ask you that, just because it's the stigma that I know. Working with Durango, is there any issues you working elsewhere? Because I've booked people from there before, and they were forced to be pulled off. Is that something that's on the norm there, or
No, you just talk to them. It's like for me, nobody owns me. There's no contract.
You're wrong, my friend, because I own you.
Ha.
But I know it's very flexible, but I know he's very, and I get it. He's kind of like me. He's very, I don't want to say possessive, but he's very hands-on with people that train with him or work with him. How does that work, though? Are you allowed to do stuff? And I ask because, one, that's one of the stigmas that when I first broke into this business, I had to, shed. And when I would book guys that directly, through you or whatever, that they would say, "Oh, I can't because, this guy said no because of X, Y, and Z." Is that normal for you with him, or is it not for you because you talk to him? But is that something that it's understood when you go train with him?
No, he just says, all he says is, hey, if you're going to go wrestle somewhere else, make sure they pay you, and that's it,
Oh, I don't pay, so fuck that.
Because there's a lot of people down here that, they wrestle for free just to go in the ring, or they're just for like $20 or $10, and that's the thing, They're like, hey, make sure that you gotta, whatever you're worth, you gotta ask,
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's all he says,
No, you're absolutely right.
So, talk to me about how the training's going, man. Is it? You mentioned before that when you first started, you asked about, what the training was like, and they said it was hardcore. Is this training hardcore? Are you getting put through the ringer? Strenuous cardio?
Well, a
lot of rolls,
You gotta remember, man, to be like most of there's no other sport besides, I think, MMA and boxing. They do the things that wrestling, like not lucha, wrestling does. So I think wrestling prepares you mentally and physically, So I was ready to train, and actually going back to what you're saying right now, when I first started with Martin thought that I was lying. He thought I used to wrestle before, because a lot of the stuff that he showed me came real or easy for me,
and that was because of the amateur wrestling, right? Just the coordination.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned judo. I think judo had to play a big part of that as well, because whenever I have students that come in brand new that do have judo in their background, MMA not so much, but mostly judo, when they come in, the beginners portion, they fly pretty fast right through it.
Yeah.
Did you have that mostly because of judo or because of your amateur?
Amateur.
Okay.
Yes.
So who? Okay, so let's talk about you talked about the amateur style. Let's talk about your style as far as a luchador is concerned. Where do you pull from? I mean, I know for me, you can see me walk in the ring and do my thing in the ring, and you can see like glimpses of Bam Bam Bigelow, glimpses of Arn Anderson. Who inspired you, and where do you pull from as far as your own in-ring style?
I observe a lot. I watch a lot from amateur wrestling or just lucha. I seen that there's a lot of people that try to mimic a lot of people, and actually a lot. And there's a few here in LA, and you don't want to do that. You want to be your own, pick up from everybody, and have your own style.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I'm different when I'm like way different when I have the mask than when I am like this right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even Gabe goes, "Hey man, loosen up, man. You want to face serious?" I mean, that's how I am. There's something that the mask. I'm different.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't copy anybody. I mean, some of the moves, of course, you learn from people, But
Mark, well, let's have you go put the mask on now, bro, because I want you to loosen up. You seem a little nervous to be on here, and I want to make sure that you tell your story the right way, and you make sure that all the listeners, because we do have listeners.
I actually asked the guy. I was like, "Hey, dude, are you like unhappy here?" I was like, "You don't talk to nobody. You're like literally." But the more you get to know him, he is very humble, and sometimes that can be taken the wrong way. Sometimes people think somebody who's too humble, they end up coming off arrogant because they don't want to talk to nobody.
Trust me, that came out a lot when I first as it is, I'm quiet when especially when I'm training too. I'm just like I'm focused. I'm paying attention. You got to remember, I'm a coach, man, so I don't mess around like other kids when they're practicing.
Yeah.
Maybe because of my age too. So. Shit, I forgot what were we talking about?
Too many bumps, brother. Too many bumps. We're talking about how you're gonna donate all your Mickeys. No, seriously. I mean, like you're talking about how people considered your humbleness as maybe being arrogant.
So when I started going to Guadalajara, that's when all the people here and some of the guys in LA started saying stuff that it was getting to my head, this and that. I was just quiet, man. I used to go to the shows wherever I got booked. I would just say hi to everyone, boom, boom, and that's it. I'm not loud. I don't go over there and drink, nothing. I just do my thing, So they thought I was just it was getting to my head,
And that's the LA crew?
Yes.
Yeah, because on my side, I always tell my guys, hey man, for all you know, he might be able to help you down the road, and he can help you down the road. So you never know. And a perfect example of that is, I ran into Shocker, and Shocker put him over, and I was like, man, this guy really is over, with these people. But I would never have got that from his, bookings with me, because he was just like quiet, You would never have known. You would have never known he ever worked in La Coliseo and stuff, or the famous comment that I always get as a promoter. Yeah, bro, I normally get X amount, but since I work for Arena Mexico now, I get this much now.
Man,
I never got that. Never got that.
I think one time there's a guy real known in TJ. I asked him, I go, hey man, how do you know how much you're worth? And he goes, when the time comes, you're gonna know how much you're worth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if they don't pay you, then you know what? Don't wrestle. I mean, because you have to kind of you gotta respect it, but you gotta understand that what you're gonna do a good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I don't know.
No, you know. Never be embarrassed of knowing your worth. Never be embarrassed. And, like I always tell my kids, and I don't care if Papa is younger, older than me, whatever. I always call my kids, and you just got to know your worth. And there's nothing wrong working for free. It just depends who you're doing it for. Right. Hey, brother, I need you to do me a favor, man. I got no money. My house just got repo. Whatever the case may be. And there's nothing wrong. You can go, hey, brother, I've been here, man. No problem. Or hey brother, man, I'm a little short. Can I pay you later? But the guy had a good house, and all of a sudden he doesn't want to pay you. So you just got to know. And everyone in this business is going to get stiffed. I've gotten stiffed on sending people places, or I've had promoters, who you do a sold show to, and they don't want to pay you.
Yeah.
And that happened on the show that you were on. And I don't give a fuck. I'll say it. It was in Gridley. And he don't want to pay. So I told Robert Thompson. I said, bro, if you don't get a text from me in the next half hour, or we're going straight to intermission, and the main event ain't coming. And I told that. I told Penta, I said, hey, bro, you're still getting paid, but I'm not doing the main event. What? Wow. And they go, this guy doesn't come up. And then Penta's go, where's he at? I go, no, I got it. And the guy had to go to an ATM and stuff. And he paid, and I had no problem doing that because I wasn't going to do the show for the fans, so I look good in front of the fans, and then me lose all this money. So as promoters, as wrestlers, we got to know, Now, if this would have been a friend of mine, go, hey brother, can you get you later? Yeah, no problem, bro. I get you. No worries. I've been there. But this is a guy who doesn't understand. He just figured, hey, look, I do concerts. I can do whatever I want because. Yo soy amigo de los Tigres del Norte. Okay, cool, man. That's awesome. What's it got to do with paying the rest of the show? So I you're on the right path. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Papo knows that as well because Papo had the same question. Hey, dude, what do I charge? Okay, well, what's everyone else getting paid? I don't know. Find out.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing, though. There's so much stuff in here with this wrestling community. None of the wrestlers sometimes want to help each other. They don't want to. Nothing, man. There's been a few here in Orange County that they used to train with or whatever, and they don't want to help you, man. But it's cool, It's all right.
Well, it's like a dog eat dog world, right?
Yeah.
So I get how like I said, you got to be selfish in some cases, but honestly, you never know. At the end of the day, for me, you never know who is going to help you next. And you never know who. If you never know how the person you burn is going to affect your next move. Yeah. So I feel like you just got to be respectful towards everyone. Now, when I first, correct me if I'm wrong, Gabe, because everything's a blur to me now. But when I first met you, Puma, it was me and you in a match with one of the students from Pro Wrestling Revolution, Diablo Azteca, versus
Skyday.
It was Skyday. It was Ojo Blanco and Ray Leon, right?
Yes.
And I remember, because for everybody that really knows me, they know I don't speak Spanish too well. I get it. No.
I heard, bro. I heard you speak Spanish fluent, bro. I'm just gonna put that out there, bro.
Yeah, it depends on who tells you. Yeah, I remember, and this goes back to me being surprised that you haven't wrestled a lot in your area before coming to Revolution. I remember you took real good care of me in that match, dude, because I did not know what was going on. Now, I know now that a typical lucha match is you talk about everything and then go out there and do nothing, do absolutely nothing that you talked about. So I know how to conduct myself accordingly now. But back then, dude, I was trying to keep it together, and I was just I was so lost during that match, dude. And you really helped me out, bro. Talk to me about some of the troubles you've had like that in terms of, working matches and they're just flying off the rails, man. How did you get good at like understanding how to combat that? Because I feel like you knew that we were in trouble, but you were just keeping your cool, and you were kind of not only worrying about yourself in the match, but you were kind of giving me pointers on what to do and keep me,
in line
from looking like an asshole. Yeah.
If it comes back, it's going back over there in Guadalajara, the CML. You just learn how to work. You know what I'm saying? That it's not just about you to look good. It's about everyone, help everyone. So it's just the timing. It helped me, learn from those people instead of just like, Durango, this is this big time coach or this and that. I don't need to learn. No, man, you gotta be your ears. You gotta keep your ears,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I remember that match. There was a lot of young students in there, and I talked to Sky, who was our trainer for many, many years, and I asked him, and he goes, "Oh no, that kid's good." He goes, "He has this, he has that." Ray Leon, I know him. He's good here, and he told me, because no one knows everything, and for those who don't know Sky, he may not be the nicest person in the world or the most loyal. And I don't give a fuck if he hears that or not. I'll say it. But when it comes to training, he's a very, very good, knowledgeable person when it comes to lucha. He's trained some great people, and he's very, very smart as a coach. And I value his opinion. He was very high on that. And I think that also goes back to the training that my guys got from Sky Day that definitely opened their eyes to lucha in a way that people don't normally see it. So I think, you were cut from that cloth. But I think a lot of your knowledge that makes you a cool person to be in the ring with is just the fact that you are a person with common sense and you actually, are just a good person, because there's been many people that can come in and want to just show off how good they are and said, I don't care how good or who this guy is. I'm a bury him. Watch me. I'm going to make myself look good. And then all it's going to take is my guy to go, yeah, man, that guy buried me. Okay, cool. Then we don't bring him back.
Yeah. No, yeah. I've seen a lot of those,
Yeah.
Kind of keep my mouth shut, but yeah, there's a few, especially now with nowadays the way all this, this lucha thing it's going. It's not at the end. Sometimes it's not lucha anymore. It's more like high spots and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
and that's one thing though. My guys know now because training with Sky, I think they remember more being stretched than anything else. Because Sky would say, if it don't hurt, you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
So now, even though he's gone now and he's home and we're all, when we were training after he left, we'd always remember ourselves, hey, if it don't hurt, man, you weren't doing it right. So, you trained, you did LA, you did stuff, and now we're at CMLL. How that happened? So Shocker made a phone call for you, and that's it. You made your way over there to CMLL, and did that open doors elsewhere, or how did that go?
That was just in Guadalajara, and then Coach Durango, gave us a chance, along with when you guys were there, when we stepped the foot on our Arena Mexico,
Oh, yes, for Dragomania.
Remember? Yes. That was the only time that we got a chance, and it didn't go as good as But,
I only laugh because I gotta ask, what happened?
We just took a little too long, and theirs a little different. Well, it's kind of like yours, and a lot of people don't understand. There's a time over there. They give you time, and you better go in that time. It's a show.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are not used to that.
Yeah, because I got an earful going, hey, what happened? And I was like, they went long. Well, how long? I go, the referee actually rang the bell and he left the ring and let them. They kept wrestling, and I was like, "Oh, go get them!" And I was like, "They already left. I can't go get them. They already left the locker room. They already went home."
This was during Dragomania?
Yes, sir.
So talk to me about that. Well, first of all, Puma Negro, you worked a match at Dragomania, right?
Right.
Well, what was the match?
It's a 6-man tag.
6-man tag.
Yeah, okay, cool. What was the match though? Who was in it?
Who was in it?
Oh, who was in it?
It was Blood Eagle and
Laberinto, yeah.
And me, we were the partners against Fidel
Castro.
Castro,
yeah. Not Castro, cabrón. I'm kidding. Fidel Bravo.
Fidel Bravo.
Fidel Castro, yeah, he was in the match. Yeah, Fidel Bravo was in it, and it was like an Americanized lucha, with some cool spots. But I think I think there was some too much eagerness to want to steal a show and not knowing the placement of your match, and they had 10 minutes. And that thing went longer, and like the actual referee was like, "Hey, it's over. Go home. And no, we're gonna go longer." And then referee walked out. Referee goes, "Oh, I'm not gonna get yelled at." And they went a lot longer. You know what I mean? But like, so I can ask you here, like, I'm sure you knew time was coming to go home, and happened what happened. How do you handle that? Because now you have to, you're part of the same crew that Durango sent over to Dragomania. How do you handle that? Because now you're being looked upon like you're part of the same crew that took a shit on this match, whether it was you or wasn't you. Now you're part of it. How do you handle that?
At the end of the day, I mean, you don't blame. It's a team. So, we all messed up, and I think either you might get another chance or you might not. But you live and learn. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
You don't go back. If you do get another chance, either there or somewhere else, to learn that you got to take orders. You got to, like, going back to what we were saying. Yeah. You got to keep your ears open and
mouth shut. Yeah, absolutely.
So
I gotta ask though, if the referee left, how the fuck did you finish that match?
They went into the finish. They went into the finish for the finisher.
Okay, who counted? Who counted the?
We were actually about to finish. Who
counted the three?
We were actually about to finish when the last guy fly out, and then that's when they called the time. I think we went over like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And yeah, we went up to the ring to try to finish. That was it. And then the ref
left. Oh yeah. If I would have been in that match, I would have been like, all right, guys, we're gonna fucking fight to the.
Well, here's
no way we're gonna be.
Here's the thing. I wasn't at that point in time. I wasn't doing anything locker room wise. I was only responsible for our stuff, and then I got called in to the locker room. And I was like, hey, what happened? And I told him, and he goes, well, go find out what happened. I'm like, okay, but they were gone already. So he put me responsible for that kind of stuff. And then the next match, I shit you not, the very next match, the women's match.
The girls, the same thing.
Same thing happened.
Same thing.
The ref left and they went over again?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
So then I get a call in the locker room again.
Crazy.
And they go, what happened? I go, man. I go, Asai-san. I go, same thing. Okay, go get so-and-so. I was like, oh, shit. So I went and got so-and-so, and that was it. You know what I mean? That was it. And that's how I got my first taste of locker room for lucha, because, I mean, it's completely different. There's certain areas, certain agents, there's certain area in Mexico you can't walk into. I made the mistake of going too far, and I ended up going towards the Edecanes locker room, and they're like, hey, where are you going? I was like, oh, shit, I didn't know. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? I didn't know. I had no clue I couldn't go there. I was looking for the next match that was scheduled, and I went to the wrong locker room, but it's crazy. Now, after all this mess, you continue, you go home, and you go back to Durango and do your thing. Did that affect anything with you in CMLL in Guadalajara? Did you ever?
No, actually, no, because the following day I had a show in so on Saturday we wrestled in Mexico City, and the next day I flew to Guadalajara.
Guadalajara?
Yes.
Okay.
But no, that didn't affect me at all.
No. So how has it been there? Like, has it opened opportunities for you to go elsewhere? Has anyone said, hey, this is awesome? Like, obviously one door opens the other. Has anything happened with you with Guadalajara that's opened doors elsewhere?
No, sir. No. It's just I contact a few different, promoters from different,
areas and so on.
Areas, but they don't, man. They already have their.
Well, Well, I'll tell you what. Let's hope that it does, because guess what? We're coming back. You got training. You're training again, and my hope is that within the next 6 to 8 months, maybe even sooner, we're going to be back to some form of business.
Well, I believe in 6 to 8 years we should be back to normal.
Yeah, here we go for sure, right? Yeah, no, hey, that's it's funny. It's funny that we say that, but it's God forbid, that's a scary possibility, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I hope sooner than later. I mean, things are changing. As we get closer to the end of the year, things are. I think the curve that everybody was talking about, it's a bit better, because now people, even though it's not everybody, but the majority of people now are wearing their masks. Yeah. And so that's opening doors. But obviously, when things come back and we're able to do shows like when we last left off, I would love to have Puma Negro come up, and I think he'd be, a great part to continue with the Lucha Horsemen, even though Papo is the reason why he got kicked out of it. But
absolutely, absolutely.
But I think
I had to go into business. I had to go into business for myself.
But I definitely would love to open that door and bring you back. I know you're hurt and so on, but when that time comes, let's do that. But now, you're doing Revolution shows. You're doing stuff for CMLL. Once you started doing CMLL, started doing shows for me and so on, were people approaching you different after that?
When you say people, do you mean who? Like,
people that you were working with before, promoters, wrestlers, were people now like, hey, bro, can you get me booked here? Or can you get me, foot in the Revolution? Or can you get me booked in CMLL? Like, how did that work out for you? Because obviously somebody had to know you're working there, so the doors had to open differently, right? Like for people asking you questions.
Yeah, a few. Well, no, not a lot. Just one here and there, and I would just tell them kind of how it is, and I would never try to be like, because there's a lot of people, like, for example, you ask me right now, and they don't want to tell you, they don't want to help you, and I would just, hey, this is how it is, this is how it happened,
Right.
And, yeah, that's pretty much it, I helped a few people, like, and I always get, like, I'm the one that's always helping people, and I always get screwed, you know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you. Sometimes it works out that way, but you know what? Hey, karma is a bitch, and also on the positive side of karma, it comes back around tenfold for people that go out of their way to be positive and help folks. Now, you're back to training, and I hope your training goes good. Let's talk about coming back. When we do get back to it, what are some of your goals? What are some of your aspirations? You said, you're kind of an older guy in this business. So being older, means you got to work faster.
Yeah.
So, what are your targets coming back?
Just to get opportunities to wrestle other guys. You know what I'm saying? Kind of known guys. You you're gonna go down or you're gonna go up, right? If they give you a chance,
Right.
I mean, if you didn't get the chance, you're never gonna know how good you could have done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, but obviously, I don't, I obviously don't speak for Gabe, but I'm pretty comfortable in saying that you always have a home at Pro Wrestling Revolution.
Fuck.
Is there is there any other promotions that you're seeking out that you might want to work for? I mean, do you want to go back to CMLL? Is AAA something that you want to do?
Yeah,
Crash.
Crash. So that's another one that I would love to to be. I love being in TJ, man. That crowd there. It's amazing.
Aren't you afraid of getting mugged?
No. That's what I'm, that's your job to be a rudo, so.
Oh, okay, to get mugged, all right. See, Papo, I fucked up on the training. I gotta show you guys how to fucking get, mugged with knives and stuff. And,
I already know all about that.
Right.
I think I'm one of the few students you got that already knows all about
this
that.
Is very true.
I'm well versed.
Now, besides the lucha part, do you have any aspirations, like maybe, a WWE look, AEW, ROH, stuff like that on the American side? Have you put any interest in that, or your main focus is just lucha itself?
Oh, no. I'm open to anything that anybody's willing to give a chance,
Right.
I mean, that's so.
Well, I'll tell you what, brother. I feel like you got a good look. Like Puma Negro, the character is a great look to me. It's a great look for TV, and I love the fact that you're such a nice guy, and I love the fact that you're so humble, and you're so down to earth. But
thank you.
You gotta get a little selfish, and you gotta get a little.
You gotta get some Papo Esco in you, kid.
You gotta get a little selfish, and you gotta get a little brash when it comes to what you believe you are worth.
Because people will mistake your kindness for weakness, bro.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, for me, I learned that the hard way. Yeah. In the beginning, for me, and despite what luckily I had Gabe, to tell me what was what, and I always listened and I always learned and I always kept it in the back of my mind. But I kind of wanted to learn the hard way because I wanted to figure out what that hard way felt like.
Right.
And I wanted to figure out how I can maneuver it and incorporate the stuff that Gabe was saying.
Right.
So, coming back, man, you got to get a little bit more selfish. You got to get a little bit more, outspoken, and you got to you got to fight for yourself. You know what I mean? And I think if you do that, if you just incorporate that in and keep that humble side, I think that, you're going to open up a lot more doors, man.
On that note, Papo, I do think it'd be awesome once we are back to normal, whatever that normality is. But once the academies be able to go full steam ahead, I would like to have you come down and work with my kids, obviously on amateur, but also how amateur plays a big role in lucha. Because I know Sky took a big part in that, but he wouldn't go too much into amateur because we were, definitely want to learn all he knows on the mat. But I would love that at some point, if we can, you can come in for a couple of weeks or maybe even a weekend. We can have a crash course for a weekend, and love to have you here because I think our guys would understand that how amateur plays a huge role. And people don't seem to understand that in order to be a professional wrestler, guess what? You got to learn how to wrestle. And that's a huge part that people nowadays that I even see on television. I see a lot of cool athletes on television, but I'm not seeing wrestlers on television. And there's nothing wrong. There's a little bit of everything for everyone, but I would definitely like to see a little bit more wrestling being used in what we call pro wrestling. And lucha libre is the same thing. Lucha libre just stands for lucha, wrestling freestyle. So that's something I definitely think at some point I would like to get more of in our academy.
I'll be willing to show up. I'm surprised that you haven't even used Cain Velasquez there. I saw him.
Who says we haven't?
we just don't talk
about it, But I tell you what, though, there's been a couple of times that when Cain's in lucha and we're going over stuff. I tell you right now, you seen Papo. I seen Cain pick up Papo and German his ass, and I was like, oh.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's another real humble guy. You can just see
but
the way he talks.
I also got to punch him in the mouth.
Oh, really?
So it was get back.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was get back.
But Cain's a very humble guy. But I tell you what, Cain is humble. But if you do him wrong, trust me,
he'll get you. Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna get you. But he's a very humble guy. He came and learned from Sky. That he came and learned from Lady Apache, and he thought Lady Apache was like, one of the, awesome women, what I mean? But we just don't put that on blast because, it's he's a different, he's AAA, he's WWE and so on. Right. But, with you, I think you're a breath of fresh air. I think it'd be great to show people what you can do. And if people don't want to hear, bro, you got to do what you do. And I think in the very end, eventually, good work, hard work will eventually show up and doors will open, whether it be working my shows, whether it be working in LA, whether it be working in Mexico. Eventually, the right person, the right people will see your work and you'll have opportunities to go elsewhere.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm very thankful for the chance you gave me to work with Fatu. I know he's one of the big guys right now coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to be honest, I never heard of La Parca, like the sun.
Oh, yeah.
So your show, and then that guy, all of a sudden, wherever he's at, was wrestling.
Yeah.
So, I know. I mean, I'm obviously he's good. He comes from a good, but I never heard of him until after we wrestled.
I'll tell you what, though. Hijo de LA Park, people, especially, and I'm not gonna lie, it's flat out honest. When it comes to lucha, there's so many Hijo des and juniors, and Hijo de Junior 2, and Hijo de Junior 7, and the version from this town, that town. But Hijo de LA Park, that guy is so underrated, man. It's because he's in the shadow of his father, and his father puts him over, man. He's so good. But I tell you what, Parker Jr., watch out.
That's a guy that the Fatu and I wrestle.
No, that's Hijo de. That's Hijo de. La Parker Jr., his other son.
Oh, that's a guy. Okay.
Oh,
okay.
watch out! I've been watching. I've been talking to Adolfo for a while, and then I've been seeing footage. Now, obviously, he can't come in, but if you guys ever get a chance, man, go look at La Parker Jr. He's on social media. This kid is a spitting image
of his dad.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll do that.
Spitting image.
We get
can work leapfrogs. I mean, this
Wow.
guy is well built, so keep an eye out. Once we get back to normal, again, I say this all the time, every podcast, and it's like a broken record, but my vision on lucha and who I bring in is going to change. And I said this to all my students, and I put this on social media. Whoever follows me can. It doesn't, I don't care. But before this pandemic, we're going to find out who our friends are and who are people we know.
Absolutely.
Oh, trust me, man. I know a lot of those, man. You find out who you really who you really thought you were their friends.
Yeah,
not,
you'll find out at the very end. When this is over, you'll go, I'm good.
I learned that.
I'm good.
Well, I'm glad to know. I'm glad to know that at least us three right here will remain friends.
Hey, slow down, bro.
Why you?
What makes you?
I don't know.
What makes you think I'm going to even like Puma Negro after this freaking podcast?
Oh, I think he's. I think you're going to like it just fine.
You speak too much for me.
Puma,
I swear.
I'd like to think that I'm starting to get to know you a little well.
Okay.
So Puma, that's our time, man. I'd like to thank you for coming on, dude. Such a humble guy, so down to earth. A little quiet for my taste, but
next time you come back, take a couple of shots or something, bro. You know what I mean?
You start hanging.
That's what Shocker said. Well, hey, you drink? I go, no, hey, that's when you're not gonna be.
Bro,
you're not gonna be a superstar.
That's one guy you don't want to drink with, bro, because you end up drinking with Shocker, bro. You're gonna be. The story is like, no, never mind. All right, bro.
That's another podcast.
That's another.
Yeah. All right, Puma. Before you go, man. I like people to, put themselves over. This is time for your plugs. Anything that you got going on, anything that you want to shout out. As far as you're an amateur, as far as lucha, and give me your social media so that people can check you out on social media.
You can check me out at Puma Negro 41. That's
Damn, there's 40 of them before you?
Yeah, I guess. Well, it's hard to... I'm not a very social media guy, but yes, Puma Negro 41 on my Instagram. I don't post a lot of stuff. I don't look through social media, and then my, Facebook, pretty much, and that's it. Puma,
okay.
On my Facebook, you can find me as Puma Negro Luis. Puma Negro.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sweet. Gabe, social medias.
You can find me at Gabriel Negro 47.
All right.
Here we go.
This promoter thinks his doo-doo don't stink, man.
Man. You can find me at PW Revolution across the board, social media-wise, Facebook, all that great stuff. Follow us. Follow me there, for everything right now, majority having to do with Lucha Masks. So anything with Lucha Masks, Lucha-Masks, www.lucha-masks.com. Will always end up going to do with Pro Wrestling Revolution social media wise. So stay safe. We have to wear a mask. Why not do it in style? Why not, support the wrestlers that have these masks? All these guys end up getting, a piece of the pie. We're not bootlegging. Everything we do is 100% officially licensed. That includes Hayabusa, Psycho Clown, Hijo del Santo, Blue Demon. All these guys that you see on television doing great stuff. Everything I've done has been licensed 100%. Including Penta and Ray Phoenix, which is in partnership and only because of the licensing that we have working partnership with Mass Republic. So everything for that, please follow us there. And keep an eye out. We have a lot of cool stuff coming out. We have some big stuff planned. Hopefully sooner than later I'll be able to release some of these things. But things are changing for lucha-mask.com and also the Academy. If you guys are interested in training, go to Pro Wrestling Revolution Training Academy. You can find us on social media across the board. Same way, PW Revolution, you'll find the Academy there. Doors are opening slowly but surely. We have resumed training. We are training in the gym, and we've been training for about 5 months now through through distant learning. We are training everything from promo classes, from psychology, match structure, how to be an independent wrestler, and knowing how to do your own taxes, nutrition. We're teaching everything and everything you possibly would need to be a complete, well-rounded wrestler. You know, we believe there's more needed to the ring. Do we want to be in the ring? Absolutely. But sometimes when we do in-ring only, we forget the things that need to be done on the outside. So if you guys are interested in training, look us up there. Hit me up. Hit up Papo. And we'll make sure that we get you in touch with the right people and get your training going ASAP. So PW Revolution social media, the Training Academy, lucha-mass.com, and all that great stuff. And make sure you guys keep an eye out. And any comments, feedback on masks you want to see or stuff like that, hit me up. Let me know, and we'll make it happen.
Yeah. All right.
Wow. I got to
Puma
take
Negro
from him.
Yeah, for sure, man. There's a lot to learn, bro.
Yep,
you should have definitely we'll send you the link to the Zoom. You can sit in.
Oh, hell's no! He better pay the dues. Come on, Papa, dude. What are you doing,
dude? I'm poor, man.
Dude,
aren't we all? All right, Puma Negro, man. Hey, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Definitely will have you back on.
Well, you hear it. You hear his car. He probably went to the liquor store to pay for his phone bill. So
that's right.
Tell Cholo I said hi.
All right, I will for sure.
All right, guys. On behalf of Gabe Ramirez, on behalf of the podcast, Straight Out the Bodega, thank you so much, Puma Negro, for coming on, and we are out.
Thank you.
And just like that, mi gente, that is all she wrote. Huge shout out and mad respect to Puma Negro for pulling up to Straight Out of the Bodega for the sit down. Brother, we wish you all the success when we get back to it. I'm going to talk to you soon. Until then, you stay safe, stay sane, and please stay healthy. Well, that's all the time we got for this week. I'd like to thank you guys for listening, and I know you're listening from somewhere. So get on social media and let us know where you're listening from. What podcast platform are you using to listen to every single episode of Straight Out of the Bodega? You know the drill. Is it Spreaker? Is it Spotify? Is it Apple Podcast? Is it iTunes? Is it iHeartRadio? Is it a podcast platform that I haven't named? Whatever the case may be, get on social media and let us know exactly where you're listening from. Also, let us know how we're doing. We're not doing this for us. We're doing this for you, man. So get on social media and let us know how we're doing. Are we doing good? What do you like about us? Are we doing bad? What don't you like about us? Who do you want to listen to on a future episode? Let us know. If we don't know, we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. And at the end of the day, all we want is for you to let us know how we can give you the most enjoyable listening podcast that we possibly can, if that makes sense. I don't know. Well, before you go, check us out on social media. That's Straight Out of the Bodega on Instagram, Straight Out of the Bodega on Facebook, STRAITOUTDABODEGA is the @ on Twitter, Straight Out the Bodega. Give us a follow, you might like what you find, and talk to us, man. We talk back. Also, check me out on social media before you go. That's Papo Esco on Instagram, Papo Esco on Facebook, Papo_Esco on Twitter. Let's build the fan base. I need a lot of followers. I don't have that many. Don't know why, but that's another story. Well, like I said, that's all the time we have for this week. On behalf of the podcast, I am your master of ceremonies, the King Fat Boy Papo Esco, and we out.
Ever had a dream of becoming a pro wrestler? Or maybe your dream is becoming a pro wrestling manager, referee, ring announcer, or commentator. If you're ready to turn your dream into reality, then Pro Wrestling Revolution Training Academy is for you. Northern California's premier pro wrestling training academy. Pro Wrestling Revolution Training Academy is located in San Jose, California, and with over 24 years of experience, we specialize in all areas, from lucha libre, American style, ring psychology, industry etiquette, and much more. You'll be welcomed into a family environment where our head trainer, Hall of Famer, The Brown Bomber, Robert Thompson, and our training staff will start you on your journey and fully prepare you to get in the ring and make your dream a reality. Past trainees include AEW's Jungle Boy, UFC World Champion and WWE star Cain Velasquez, the King Fat Boy Papo Esco, and many more. Be the next star. Contact Pro Wrestling Revolution Academy now. Call 408-728-8318. Visit our Facebook page or go to prowrestling-revolution.com/training and make your dream a reality.